Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer. Today we're here for yet another Civilization 6 Wonder Spotlight, where today we're going to be taking a look at a wonder that is a real killer for non-Hungarians to pronounce, and that is Országház. Unfortunately, this is the second time that I'm doing the voice recording for this because I realized, so last time I recorded it, I stepped away from my computer and then Audition crashed, Adobe Audition, which I record my audio in, crashed, and then I lost all of my progress, so big oof. Hopefully I remember exactly what I said because I've lost the script as well, so oops. But anyways, let's go ahead and get on into things with Országház. So this wonder is unlocked with the sanitation technology. This does make it an industrial era wonder, and the very last of the industrial era wonders that we are covering, because we've already covered all the other ones. To get the Eureka for sanitation, all that you have to do is construct 2 neighborhood districts. So this is something that is very easy to do, but with that in mind, I still don't find myself getting this Eureka very often, just because, as a general side note, I think that neighborhoods are... they're a little bit iffy whenever you're playing on deity against the AI, just because the AI, for whatever reason, you know, it's one of those weird things that they love to do. They love to spam spies on your neighborhood districts, and the spy mission for the neighborhood district is to spawn barbarians. So if you don't have counter spies there, you will get run over by barbarians over and over and over again, and it's really irritating. So sorry for the little side note, but that's a little side note. If you're playing on deity, just be prepared that if you build neighborhoods, you're going to have to protect them with spies. But either way, very easy to get the Eureka for sanitation. As far as the building requirements for Országház are concerned, they are very, very simple, and that's you just have to put it next to a river. Doesn't even matter what type of tile it is, as long as it's next to a river, and, you know, obviously it can't have a luxury or anything on it, then it is a valid tile for this wonder. So in pretty much every single game, I would say you're going to have a valid spot for this wonder. In at least the majority, there are very few games where you'll have 0 rivers in your territory, but this does make it that, this does mean that it is very easy for other players to be able to build it as well, so just keep that in mind, but we'll talk about that in a little bit whenever we are giving our rankings. This wonder also does have a production cost of 920 production, which is one of the cheaper industrial era wonders, so that is a good thing. Most of them are in the range of like 1200, I think, to 1400, but this, along with the Panama Canal, are a little bit cheaper, so a very good thing. Moving on to Országház's wonder bonuses, it has 2 of them. So for one, it will provide +4 culture per turn, and for the second thing is that it will provide 100% extra diplomatic favor per turn from being the suzerain of city-states. So normally, whenever you are the suzerain of a city-state, at the start of every turn that you are the suzerain, you will get 1 diplomatic favor, and this just makes it so that instead of getting 1, you get 2. Obviously, that's pretty simple to understand from the description there, but this is a wonder bonus that I think is actually pretty strong. Obviously, pretty much only matters for diplomatic victory because that's where that's really the only victory type where you need a lot of diplomatic favor, but in certain situations, this can give you a pretty big bonus just depending on how many suzerains you are, how many city-states you are the suzerain of in a game. In addition to this, the +4 culture is okay. It's not really that great. You know, I'm not really going to build this wonder for the culture. In any game, I would build it for the diplomatic favor because +4 culture is pretty bad for 920 production. But either way, it is a nice bonus, and, you know, maybe you can still work with this for other victory types, and that culture is a little bit of an extra bonus. And now it is that time to give Országház its wonder ratings. So if you're new to the series, all that you really need to know here is that these ratings go on a 1 to 5 scale, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. So for its overall rating, I think that Országház deserves a 3. It's a fairly decent wonder. It's definitely significantly better than the other wonders that we've talked about recently, and it's one that I would find myself building if I played more Diplomatic Victory, that is. But in the games that I do go for Diplomatic Victory, this is a wonder that I do try to get. So the Diplomatic points bonus is actually fairly decent, just because, as I mentioned, it varies based on how many city-states you are the suzerain of, but generally you can get at least 2 extra diplomatic favor from it, and if you're really good and you have a lot of envoys, then you might even be able to get like upwards of like 8 or, you know, somewhere around that extra diplomatic favor, which is actually a huge boost. So as far as the use cases for this wonder are concerned, there's really only one, and that's to generate significantly more diplomatic favor, specifically for the diplomatic victory. You could use this for other victory types if you just want to, you know, get some extra things going in the World Congress, but I generally don't find that that's tremendously worth it. One other thing that I want to mention here, though, is that this wonder is particularly good if you're playing one of the Greeks, so either Pericles or Gorgo, because with the Acropolis, you end up with a lot of envoys, and you end up the suzerain of a lot of city-states, so on those two civilizations, this can give you a huge diplomatic favor boost. As far as the difficulty rating for this wonder is concerned, I think that it deserves a 3, which that's honestly even a little bit surprising to myself, just because, as I mentioned before, it has very easy placement requirements, and normally when things have easy placement requirements, the deity AI will love to build them in any instance that they can, but for whatever reason, they don't build this one as much as some of the other ones, so you still have to be somewhat cognizant if you're going for it. You don't have to absolutely rush for it, but you do have to be at least relatively on track and focus towards it if you want to build it on deity. For its consistency rating, I think that it deserves a 3. It's definitely not the most consistent wonder, so I mean the +4 culture, obviously always a good thing. You're pretty much going to be able to put it down in every single game, which is also good, but the real thing that drives the inconsistency here is the diplomatic favor bonus, because as I mentioned, it's going to vary a lot based on how many city-states you are the suzerain of. So if you're not the suzerain of a lot of city-states, it's going to be kind of a crappy wonder, but if you're the suzerain of a lot of city-states, it's going to be pretty good. The other nice thing that it has going for it, though, is that like after you build it, if you become the suzerain of more city-states, then your bonus can go up from it. So one of those few wonders that can get progressively better as the game goes on. But unlike some of the other wonders, this one actually can get progressively worse as the game goes on. If other people start taking city-states or taking over suzerainship, then you can lose your diplomatic favor bonus from them, and it's going to be a significantly less impactful wonder. So for those reasons, I think it deserves a 3 in consistency. So thank you everyone for watching. I have been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for some more Civilization 6 content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.